Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Flux. In this video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this gorgeous Monet's Garden scarf. This is a fun stripy scarf that's great for scraps or whatever colors you have. Now I did mine in sort of a jewel tone botanical palette, and it was really fun to see how the colors all played out together. We are going to crochet this scarf in the lovely lemon peel stitch. That's just a series of single crochets and double crochets, and it gives a nice dense but not heavy fabric that's very cozy to wear and has a lot of pretty texture. So I'm going to show you how to crochet this scarf from start to finish, how to change colors, and how to do the finish work. Now the finished scarf measures about 9 inches wide and it's about 60 inches long. Now later on in the video I'm going to show you how to customize the scarf and increase the width by using multiples, and also how to work more rows to change the length of your scarf. So you can really make this as wide or narrow as you like. It's totally up to you. So let's get started. For this project, you'll need a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle to weave in the ends. You'll need a tape measure. It's not necessary, but it is super helpful to get the width if you want to change the multiples, or the length of your scarf. This is a helpful tool to have for that if you need to change the sizing. We're going to be using a 5mm H crochet hook. This is my Furls Odyssey in the navy. It's like a deep blue glittery color. I'll put the link down below if you'd like to get one for yourself. And now let's talk about this yarn. Now this project is going to have a matching hat. So I'm going to use this whole amount of yarn for both projects. And in just a minute, I'll give you the specifics for the scarf, but I wanted to go over the colors. We're going to be using Wander yarn. This is a worsted weight acrylic yarn. It's really soft. It has like a shiny kind of sheen to it. This is yarn from Furls. And again, like the hook, I'll put the link down below if you'd like to get some of this yarn for yourself. Now, we're going to be using some really beautiful colors. It's going to have some stripes of color. And I just wanted to go through the colors, but if you need to substitute yarn, just as a side note, look for a medium 4. You can see the little yarn ball picture with the 4 in it. A medium 4 on the yarn weight scale. And this recommends the 5mm H crochet hook, just as a side note. So if you need to substitute yarn, look for one that recommends the H hook and the medium 4 on the yarn weight scale, and you'll be just fine. Now again, I'm going to give you the specifics of yardage for the scarf itself, but let's go through the colors first. So I have an array of beautiful colors. You can easily make this in any colors you like. You don't have to use this many different colors like I'm using, but I wanted it to be really colorful. So this is kind of like a sagey color, like a sage green. This is called agave. This bright green is called sprout. It's like a grass green, I guess you could say, or like almost like a yellowy green. This bright pink is called darling, which I think is super cute. This bright purple is called enchanted. And this teal, this bright teal, is called Atlantis. And then this deep, beautiful blue is called Caspian. So I'll be using all of these colors together. And part of the reason was I couldn't eliminate any of them. I really like the way all of them look together. But have fun choosing whatever colors you like. And as a side note, this Wander color yarn comes in like a million different colors. And again, the link for the yarn is below. Okay, so like I mentioned before, this is going to be made in the lemon peel stitch. Now the lemon peel stitch, when you do your starting chain, is any odd number of chains to begin. Now I have a whole separate lemon peel stitch tutorial. I have a full photo tutorial and I have a full video tutorial. So if you've never done this stitch, check those out. I'll put the links down below for those, and you can really master the stitch. But you can also follow along with me now too. So any odd number, we're going to do 31 chains for our scarf. Now, if you need to make your scarf wider, or you want to take it a lot wider and make it a shawl or something like that, just know that any odd number will be perfectly fine. So what we need to do is wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop, bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your hook, bring up that loop and tighten. So now we have a slip stitch on our hook. I'm just going to come in just a little bit closer. All right, so like I mentioned, we're going to do 31 chains, or any odd number that you choose, okay? So to make a chain, wrap the yarn around the hook and bring it through the loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. So here is our starting chain, and that starting chain will give you a good idea of about the width that your scarf will be. Okay, so just use that as a guideline when you're doing your starting chain adjustments if need be. Okay, so for row 1, that'll sort of set us up, and then we're going to learn row 2 next, and row 2 will be the row that we repeat for the rest of our scarf. Okay, so it's super easy. So let's start with row 1. What we're going to do is single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So this loop here does not count. We're going to go 1 and 2 and single crochet in that second chain from the hook. So insert your hook into that chain, wrap yarn around hook, bring up a loop. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Wrap yarn around hook, bring through both loops, okay? Now we're going to work a double crochet into the next stitch. So to make a double crochet, wrap the yarn around the hook, insert it into that next chain, and bring up a loop. Wrap yarn around hook, bring through both loops. First 2 loops, wrap yarn around hook, bring through the last 2 loops, okay? And then we're just going to repeat that all the way across, working a single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet in each chain across, okay? So let's do this together. Next chain, we're going to work a single crochet. Next chain, we're going to work a double crochet. Okay? We're just doing this all the way across. So single crochet in the next chain, double crochet into the next chain, single crochet into the next chain, double crochet into the next chain. Okay, just working our way across, working a single crochet and then a double crochet all the way across. Okay, I'm coming up to the end here, so I'm working my single crochet, and then in that last chain work a double crochet stitch. Okay, all right, so your row should look about like this. It doesn't look like a whole lot right now, but we're going to start getting a nice texture as we keep repeating this sequence. Okay, so what we're going to do now is move on to row 2. We're going to stick with this agave color for now. Later on, I'm going to show you how to change colors. So for row 2, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. Now this chain 1 doesn't count for anything, so we will be working into that very first stitch here, okay? So we're going to single crochet into the very first stitch right at the base of that chain 1, and then we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. Now when you double crochet into the next stitch, make sure it's the single crochet from the previous row, because you're kind of working into the opposite, okay? And then when you go over to the next stitch, you're going to work a single crochet and make sure that was a double crochet from the previous row, okay? So we're going to work next a double crochet and then a single crochet. Same thing we did before. Next stitch, double crochet. Next stitch, single crochet into the next stitch. Into the next stitch, work a double crochet, okay? And so forth. So just keep alternating those single crochets and double crochets all the way across. Okay, we're just continuing across, working our double crochet and then single crochets all the way across. So single crochet in the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, single crochet in the next stitch, and double crochet into that last stitch. Just like that, okay? So now row 2 is complete, and we can just continue with row 2 for the rest of our piece. I'm going to work a couple more rows on my own because I want to show you how to introduce the next color into your scarf. So I'm going to work a couple more rows, and when we rejoin, I'm going to show you kind of how thick I'm going to be making the stripes, how many rows, and also how to join a new color. Okay, just coming up to the end of the row here, I'm going to work my last double crochet in there. And now we're going to switch colors. So I did 8 rows of the stitch pattern. You can, so my color stripe will be about that thick. If you want taller ones, keep going a little ways more and so forth. But I'm going to do 8 rows before I switch colors. So what we're going to do now, there's lots of different ways you can join a new ball of yarn. I like to cut the yarn and just tie the new one right on. So what we're going to do is cut the yarn. Wrap the yarn around the hook, bring it through the loop, and then just tighten it up. Okay, so grab your new color that you'll be joining, and then you're going to reinsert your hook back into that last stitch that you worked. Hook the new yarn on, bring it through, and then just tie it right on. Again, if you have a way you like to join yarn, please feel free to do it that way. I'm just going to tie it right on here. Okay, so we're going to just scoot these tails out of the way and reinsert your hook back into that same stitch, bring up a loop, and now you're ready to keep going. So again, we're going to be repeating row 2 over and over and over again until our scarf is as long as we want it to be, changing colors as often as you want. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we are ready to roll. So you're just going to do the same thing, repeating row 2 over and over again until your scarf is as tall as you would like it to be, or until you run out of yarn. Okay, so I'm going to continue with my scarf, and when we rejoin, we'll have lots more colors on here, and we'll do some finished work, weave-in ends, etc. Okay, just coming up to this last row at the very end, putting in that last double crochet, and then you can see our scarf is complete, and look at these gorgeous colors that we have, just so lovely. Now, to finish, and once your scarf is as long as you would like it to be, grab your scissors, and you can just cut the yarn and fasten off. Now I had just a little bit of each color, not quite enough to do more sections. So my scarf, I'm pretty happy with, the length and the drape and everything. So the last thing we need to do is just take care of these ends. Now I did lots of color changes, so I have lots of ends. So let's do one together, and then we can kind of, however many you have, if you stuck with one color, you'll have less ends than me. But the general rule for this, when you have lots of colors, is when you do your ends, so we're going to thread our tapestry needle, is when you do your ends, like for this sage green we're doing here, just stay in that area with your tail so it won't show. It'll stay nice and camouflaged. And then I like to go in one direction and then come back in the other direction, just like that. And then just grab your scissors and give it a little snip, and that's it. So we're just going to snip it, and then do the same for all of your other ends as well. Okay, all of our ends have been woven in, and our scarf is complete. It looks beautiful, it's soft and ready to wear. So that is how you crochet the Monet's Garden Scarf. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiber Flux video updates. Thanks again.